What's up, everybody? Alessandro here, ready to break down this UFC Perth card we got on September 27th, 2025. This is a rough one here. It was 17 fights on this card originally. So, I was really excited about that. And it's dropped down now to 13 fights. We got a co-main event here of J.Crute and Erslan. I'll just leave it at that. Pretty exciting main event, though, I will say. Something to look forward to there with Dominic Reyes taking on Carlos Ulberg. But, we'll get into it here. So, first fight of the night is going to be Lookboonmee versus Thainara. Lookboonmee here, plus 210. Started looking there first. She has the Thai background there, and I thought she'd come forward here with the volume. 7-2 in the UFC is not bad. The problem here is I think Thainara is just simply a better athlete. She's a lot bigger frame as well, about 3 inches taller, 6-inch reach advantage here in the strawweight weight division. And then the size I've already alluded to. The ability to seem like she's in control even in the retreat. She is a little flashy. And at the end of the day, sometimes she might give rounds away doing that and play with her food. But I actually think she's going to come here kind of serious because she's going to see what Lookboonmee's capable of here with the volume. And she's going to know she needs to be on the volume as well here. I think Thainara comes in ready, minus 260. I know it's not the greatest price, but I have to look there. On to the next fight. We got Ellison versus Pericic. This one I was going back and forth on. I mean, this is not to say low level. It's just prospect level, heavyweight UFC here. It's kind of hard to make a decision on this one. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think Pericic has probably, he probably is the A side. He is a little bit bigger here, 6'5", 265. Elijah is about 6'2", 6'3 here. I do think Elijah is a special athlete here, at least for this heavyweight division, and kind of a raw type prospect. Both of these guys, honestly, are raw. But I think, fighting in his home country here, Brando, and having just a little bit of that size and reach advantage, that'd be where I'd look. The minus 220 favorite is Pericic. It'd be that or pass. Not a fight I'll be rushing to the window to bet, but I'm giving you a pick here in every fight, guys. On to the next fight. We got Michelle Montague versus Luana Carolina. So, Carolina's kind of like the little gatekeeper here in this bantamweight division. I think Montague is, a prospect that the UFC is going to try to push here. Is trained alongside Kayla Harrison there at American Top Team. Looking like she could be potentially next up here with the 135-pound belt once Kayla, moves on. She's 6-0. All 6 wins by rear naked choke. So it's pretty obvious what she's trying to do here. She's trying to take you to the ground and put you to sleep. So that's kind of exciting in my eyes. So we'll see if she's able to do it here to Luana Carolina, who at the end of the day, some questionable wins here. Stoliarenko, Petrovic, Pudialova, her last 3. If you look at those 3 fighters there, I'm not impressed with any of them. She does have losses here to Molly McCann, Meatball Molly, Joanne Calderwood. I don't know. I can't get behind the dog here in Luana Carolina. I think Montague has been fed a nice little opponent for her debut. And I think she's going to get a nice win here. Minus 240 again. I know 3 favorites to open up the card, but we'll be getting to those dogs. They're barking, trust me. They are. On to the next one. We got Colby Thicknesse versus Josias Musasa. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think Thicknesse, training partner of Alexander Volkanovski. He did fight Toporia's brother there, who a loss to him, to me, that's already a red flag because, I wasn't impressed with Toporia's brother. I think he's in the UFC because of his last name as well. Or not last name as well, but you catch my drift. That was a fight there. 2 guys, I don't know why they're in the UFC. And now you got Musasa, who at least has shown some finishing capability. Before on the Dana White Contender Series, he won a split decision. But before that, it was 7 straight finishes, all by knockout. So that's, at least something to go for him. And then, the 74-inch reach advantage I'm seeing on Musasa's side. These guys are both the same age, but, the 69-inch for Thicknesse, that's what, 5.5 inches of reach advantage here for Musasa, who I also think is the better athlete as well. I jokingly say soy alert here with Colby Thicknesse. I just can't trust him to bite down on the mouthpiece and get dirty and grimy here, especially with a guy like Musasa. I think Musasa will be too much. I'll just lay the minus 150. I know it's a little juicy, but I like the Musasa side. On to the next fight. We got Jamie Mullarkey versus Rolando Bedoya. This is an interesting fight here because I do think Mullarkey, yes, I know he's chinny, but he's going to bite down on the mouthpiece and try to go after it. And he also does have some wrestling capability here to take down Rolando Bedoya. But Bedoya has shown me a little bit of some boxing capabilities here himself. And if he can at least defend the takedowns of Mullarkey, I definitely think he's in this fight. I definitely think, the price here, minus 115, minus 105, minus 110, minus 110, that type of pick'em fight I've been seeing between these two. I understand why. I'm leaning Bedoya simply off. I can't trust if Mullarkey's going to be able to even make it the distance. I can see Bedoya catching him. I know Bedoya hasn't shown anything here that he's going to knock him out. What the fight to Chaos Williams was a little bit of a impressive. He did lose the fight, but it was an impressive showing there. Chaos Williams is not a guy to scoff at. But Mullarkey again with the knockouts, man. It's Rufi, Hakparas, Volkanovski, Jalen Turner, Muhammad Naimov. He's 5 knockouts on his record. You look at Bedoya, 0 knockouts on his record. All of his losses have at least been by decision. So, that makes me look there. This fight to go the distance, minus 150, that's a little, attractive. I know it's a little juiced, but I like that a lot. At the end of the day, the volume as well is something to look at. Bedoya, 7.5 strikes landed per minute to Mullarkey's 4. At the end of the day, I think Bedoya will be too much with the boxing, so I'll be on Rolando Bedoya's side. On to the next fight. We had a cancel one there, Michael F. and Oban Elliott. He had the illness, so whatever that means. This next fight here, Cam Rowston, Andre Petroski. This one's a tough fight, and I was looking Cam Rowston's way originally as well here, trying to look at the dog. But I couldn't get there at the end of the day. I think Petroski's going to be able to get the takedowns. I started looking deep into Rowston's record, and then this is asking a lot of him, too. He just fought in August. Yes, he did get a win, but, it's a quick turnaround here. Petroski also fought in June, but at least he's had a month and a half or so, to kind of soak up and heal up and get ready and get right back into shape. But the losses that I was looking at there on Rowston's record, Jacob Malkoon, Therese Finney, out-grappled by them guys. And I know Petroski's going to try to grapple in this fight. He's at a big-time reach disadvantage here. 78 and 72, almost 6 inches. And then, Rowston's almost 6'3", 6'4". Petroski's a 5'10", 5'11 type guy, a stocky wrestler. I don't know, and I don't like what Petroski does on the feet. He's never shown me anything really crazy on the feet. The gassing, the potential is there. The thing is, he did at least fight in June. I do think he's going to be in good shape. I do think his back's against a wall here in this fight. 13-5, not the best record here, and against a young hotshot prospect that they're trying to push. I'm still going to lean Petroski here at the minus 180 price to get it done via takedowns. He's going to have to wrestle, and I think he does here and avoids the submissions. Petroski's the pick. On to the next fight. We got Navajo Stirling, Rodolfo Bellato. I think this is a Navajo Stirling showcase here, starching. I was looking at the knockout prop, only plus 125. I also could see his Navajo Stirling just complete outclassing decision where he just, 30-26 is this guy. That's plus 250 for Navajo Stirling to win by decision. The side for me clearly in this one's Navajo Stirling. I'm not looking Rodolfo Bellato's way. Real quick, real sweet on that one. Navajo Stirling's the side. On to the next fight. We got Tom Nolan, Charlie Campbell. This is an interesting one here. Tom Nolan, a big-time, at least reach advantage type fighter here in the 155-pound weight division. 6'3", 155er. And, you know, almost every single one of his fights, he's had that reach advantage, 9-1 record. At the end of the day, 9-2 record over there for Charlie Campbell. 6 of them by knockout. 5 of them by knockout as well, though, for Tom Nolan. But what is interesting is, yeah, Tom Nolan's 3 inches shorter, but the reach is actually only an inch short. So it's 73-inch reach, 72-inch reach here. Nolan's not going to have that reach advantage that he normally does have in all of his fights. Charlie Campbell does have the average of 3 takedowns per fight. So, you know, he can't always go to the wrestling. Where I do think Tom Nolan, yes, he's shown some takedown defense here, but I also think he's shown some willingness to play jiu-jitsu on his back. And I think that could get him in trouble there with Charlie Campbell. I think Charlie Campbell can control him up against the fence as well. I'm looking Charlie Campbell here, plus 125. A little bit of some plus money there. It's a pretty close fight. So the books have it right around where it should be. Maybe because of the length that's on Nolan's side, which is not going to be a factor in this fight. So I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be a minus 150 for Nolan. I think this should be closer to a pick'em. So the fact that you're getting some plus money with Campbell is another reason why I like it. So, yeah, give me Charlie Campbell plus 125. And then another quick and short one. We got Tafa versus Sutherland. Justin Tafa versus Louis Sutherland here. I'm fading Tafa's. It's easy. 7-5 here, Justin Tafa. Louis Sutherland, you know, yeah, he's looking a little sus. Let's just put it lightly here. Big muscled up guy here. He's shown a little bit of striking if you watch some of his fights. I mean, he's actually a little technical. He works that jab out there, and then he flicks the left hook and then works the right straight down the middle. And, you know, he's shown a little bit of some defense. He's not just completely clueless in there and just brawling. And, you know, a little bit of footwork. Bottom line, I don't think this one sees the distance anyways. I think Sutherland's the side for me. At the time I made this video and the time I put the bet in, I got plus money with Sutherland. I don't know if you're going to be seeing that, but I think Tafa opened up as a minus 125 favorite. We'll see if that's still here because I think a bunch of people agree with me. You fade the Tafas. On to the next fight. We got Jake Matthews, Neil Magny. This one here, I have to go with the dog. I know it's smelly. I know it's gross, but, you know, Neil Magny just got that big-time win there against Zaleski Dos Santos there. That was kind of 2 old guys, no offense there. 38, 37-year-old guys going at it, and, you know, Magny got the win. I think that got Magny back on track. He knows he's 1 win away here from, you know, getting this win here against Jake Matthews, top 15 guy, and then now all of a sudden he's in the title discussion. And I think that's what he's striving for here. I think he's got 3-4 fights left in him. He's a guy who's taking care of himself, you know, already a lean physique here for this 170-pound weight class, 6'3", 6'4 type guy. Now, Jake Matthews has beaten guys of this type frame. He did just beat Chidi Ujun Kuwani, a little bit smaller than Magny, but, you know, that same type of style as far as on the feet, at least. Long, using the jabs and kind of on a retreat, but then will catch you with this nice sneaky counter. That's at least Chidi's style. But, you know, Jake Matthews stifled through that. He's also fought a guy like Phil Rowe, 6'3", 6'4 as well, 170-er. But again, same type of style on the retreat. Magny's going to use a lot more kicks than those guys. Those guys are more boxing, check hook type, Philly shell type fighters. And I think Neil Magny is going to use more of the kicks and be a little bit more active, too, volume-wise, and not be scared to go first here against Jake Matthews. That might get him in trouble. That might get him caught. But I think Neil Magny also has grappling in his back pocket. I'm not trying to completely roast Jake Matthews here. He's not the worst UFC fighter here. 22-7 record. I just think the plus money value, you have to look at Neil Magny here. I'm going to go Neil Magny plus 330. On to the next fight. I'll be short and sweet about this one. Roman Taveras as well. I'm going to look out here with the plus 240 price. 6-1 on the regional scene. You know, made his name off Crazy Horse Bennett. That's kind of what got him on the map. But, you know, his last fight there lost to Davey Grant. That's nothing to scoff at. Davey Grant's scrappy as all hell. And then what I like about Taveras here is he redeemed that knockout loss there to Sidai there on the Contender Series. And then he got a rematch here in the UFC. And, you know, yeah, he won a decision, but at least, you know, to get back in there against a guy that knocked you out in the first round and then go in there and win a decision shows me a lot. Jenkins has done that himself. He has redeemed a loss, but that was on the regional scene there. So, I'll put that into at least the equation. But, 3 losses by submission on Jack Jenkins' record. I do think Taveras could use the grappling if he wanted to. But as long as he can avoid Jack Jenkins' leg kicks, which is a problem. Jack Jenkins' leg kicks are like Aldo level. That doesn't mean he's Jose Aldo. Just that specific thing that he does, his low kicks are that good. The Jamal Emmers fight, there's a couple other fights there where it stood out to me. I'm like, you do not want to eat these leg kicks here from Jack Jenkins. I think Ramon Taveras here knows this. I think he's going to be checking these kicks. I think he's going to be eluding them here, creating space, creating counters. I think he'll have the boxing advantage, a slight size advantage as well, and reach 70-inch to 68 here. But I think Jack Jenkins might try to wrestle with the 1.78 takedowns per fight. That shows that if the striking's not working, he will at least try to shoot. I think Ramon Taveras knows this as well. I think he's going to stifle it, and I think he'll even open up his offense even more, being able to catch some more counters and winning control time as well in the sprawl and brawl type strategy. I'm on Ramon Taveras all day, plus 240. I like the price. A showcase type performance for him. On to the next. We got the co-main event. J.Crute, Ivan Erslan. I'll be short and sweet with this one. J.Crute, 12 UFC fights, a 6-4-2 record. Yes, he's got 2 draws on his record. The one of them there to Menafield, and then he lost to him as well. I don't think Crute's the greatest of 205ers here, but I do think Erslan here, 0-2 in the UFC. A loss to Navajo Stirling, who's on this card as well. And then a Cutelaba loss is that's a red flag to me, the Cutelaba loss as well. And I don't know. Crute's actually a little bit bigger as well, 74-inch reach, 72-inch reach. Slightly younger. I think everything points to J.Crute. I know it's not cute. Minus 225. I'm not the biggest J.Crute fan, but we got to go there. J.Crute minus 225. And then the main event. I'll be short and sweet with this one because I'm not going with Carlos Ulberg, who's gotten away with 2 robberies here against Volkan Oezdemir and Jan Blachowicz. At the end of the day, look at Dominic Reyes' losses here. John Jones, which I can say he won that fight. I don't care what you guys say. John Jones is still the greatest UFC fighter of all time. There's no shame at that, but I feel like he lost that fight to Dominic Reyes, 3 rounds to 2. Watch that fight. Okay, that's 1 loss on Dominic Reyes' record. Then you look, Yuri Prochaska, nothing to scoff at. Jan Blachowicz, nothing to scoff at. And yes, Jan Blachowicz got robbed by Ulberg. So at the end of the day, this 13-1 Ulberg is very fraudulent. He's the home country guy. Everything's going to point to him, but I think he's going to get fraud checked here massively. At the end of the day, these guys are the same height, same weight, same size, same reach advantage. Reyes is 1 year the elder, but I'm going Dominic Reyes plus 200 on the money line. I love this play a lot. 5-round fight makes it super interesting as well. The experience there of Reyes is where I lean as well. I mean, I love Dominic Reyes. This one is, I've already put the bet in. So get on it now, plus 200 Dominic Reyes. There you have it, guys. Broke down the whole entire UFC Perth card. I would give you guys a parlay, but this one was a long one. So best of luck to all of you guys this weekend here, placing your guys' bets. Check out what we got on Tony'sPicks.com. Use the 2-for-1 capper promotion and the Tony T discount code at checkout and get that 15% off. Peace.